Hi, I'm Dev-Lanna and I'm making a cozy cookie clicker shop game. In my first devlog, I've filmed creating the cookie and setting it up in the game. And I've also begun the inventory system. I've set it up to show up and display on the screen, but when I click my cookies, they actually don't go to the inventory. I haven't set that part up yet, so I'm going to do that today. I also have an idea that I want to add storage to the cookies. I think that would add another interesting element to the game where you would have to buy more storage in order to produce more cookies. I'm thinking I want the storage to show up something like this. It's just simply the amount of cookies you have versus the amount of storage you actually have. Once this is filled, it should update the amount of cookies that you see up here. It does. Okay, anyways, now I have to limit the storage. I've added the total amount at the end, and I've also restricted it so that you can't go over the storage amount, the total amount. So no matter how much you click, you're gonna keep producing, but it's not going to increase. And I'm almost wondering if I want to have it just completely stop you from clicking this at all. I might need to stop it from being able to click. I think that's the safest way to communicate to somebody that you don't have any storage for it. If the cookie bar is filled to the top, check to see if there is storage space. And if there is space, then you could reset the value to 0. That means you could restart the progress bar of the cookie, spawn the cookie particle, and then do other stuff. But if you don't have storage, it doesn't do any of this stuff. So it just stays there. It doesn't do anything. See, so it doesn't reset the cookie so that you can click it again and it fill up like this. But it still bounces. I'm wondering if I should stop the bounce from happening also. I'll leave it like this for now, but at least I know it works. So I have my storage pretty much done. It seems like the next thing on the list is to get the oven working. That's going to take some time, I think. I had a bit of a challenge setting up the rest of the inventory, I'm not gonna lie. I had to ask ChatGPT for a lot of stuff. It's not that I didn't understand what I was doing, it's just that I was working with signals a lot and I haven't had a lot of experience with signals, so it was just a lot of things I had to look up how to do. And I'm pretty sure the next time I work with signals, I'm gonna have to look them up again because it's not something that's too intuitive, at least not for me. But I'm slow. You should not use me as a frame of reference. It's gonna look like it's the same day. It's not. This is just my uniform for the week. It's actually 2 days past the last time I recorded, and I'm just about to start on the oven now. Right now, I'm about to give it a texture button as the root node. I feel like I'm basically just doing the same thing I did with the cookies all over again. I'm gonna put the oven in the scene. I'm gonna have it register the click. I'm also gonna have the animation done so that when I click it, it does some type of animation. I have 2 animations to choose from. ChatGPT gave me 2. One is called Shake, one is called Pulse. This one is called Shake, which you can barely see. Then there is Pulse. And you can definitely see this one. This is definitely my favorite, but I'm thinking I want it to be a little bit slower, especially since the pop animation out of the cookie is kind of a slow pace. Yeah, that looks like it fits my game even better. Now I have to actually work on bringing the oven inside of the game, which I've already done this when I brought the cookie inside of the game. So it feels like just practice, like I'm practicing something I've already learned. Okay, moment of truth. Does the oven actually work? It does. I don't know if you're able to see, but the animation is actually playing, and then it prints out baking. I'm just trying to imagine what this game would sound like with sound in it. It would be so adorable. Let me check my list of things that I'm doing. So creating the oven is done. I already have the click registered. The animation is done. And now I have to actually set up the timer in the oven. I have experience with timers, but again, I don't remember how to do it. So I hope it's not challenging. But also I do hope that it's challenging, because that's the fun part about it. This stuff was very exciting. I set up the timer with the help of ChatGPT because I didn't remember the entire process of it. But I was supposed to assign the correct cookie data or the correct resource. No, it is data. I never know which one to use. What am I assigning? I don't know. When an oven bakes, it is supposed to bake the cookie that it is directly above of. And I coded that logic. That doesn't sound like it should be too hard to do, but it is. I finally got it working. Turns out I didn't even have to use a signal at all. My mic got cut off the last time I was filming. To be honest with you, I can't even remember what was the last thing that I did. But I'm pretty sure I was working on the ovens, baking the cookies that they were responsible for. I got the oven to add the cookie to the inventory. I had it baked 2 cookies and I was testing that to see if it was working, and it was. So now I have to make the same decision that I had to make with the cookie, which is, how do I give feedback that the oven is no longer able to bake because there's no storage for the cookies that it's going to bake. And I was wondering, if the oven bakes and it bakes 2 cookies, should I just discard of the 2 cookies because there's no storage for both of them? Or should I just try to figure out how much of the cookies can actually go into storage, put them in storage, and then discard of the rest? And I think I came to the conclusion that I would do that second option. I think the first one is a little bit punishing. I also then had problems with the particles because I tried to position the cookies properly in their H box and it messed up how the particles behind them were spawning. This is what I'm talking about. So currently I have 4 cookies and there's space for 1 more. If I click the oven, it spawns the cookie, but nothing goes up there. It took me way longer than it should have to figure this out, but I got it. I already tried it with the first oven and it works, but I'll show you. So if I click it 1 time, it produces 2 cookies. This is the one we're checking. And if I click on it again, it produces another 2 cookies. And if I click it again, it's gonna produce 2 more cookies, but only 1 is gonna be placed into the inventory. I'm gonna try to see if I can put an outline on the oven. I should probably see if I could put an outline on the cookie too. That would be helpful. I thought about it for all of 1 second and I just realized I can make the ovens dark. I can make them appear darker to give the signal this is no longer clickable. That's already how the cookies work anyways. I added a deactivate function. Whenever the inventory is updated, a signal is sent. So I just connected the oven to that signal and it checks to see if the cookie it's responsible for is the space that was updated. If it was the space that was updated, it checks to see if the storage is full, and if it is full, it tints it a darker color. Nice. So it's full now. So this is no longer, well, I forgot to stop it from actually being able to be clicked. But it does get darker, just like the cookies are dark right now. So it fits, it's like a continuous style. It makes sense. While I'm here, I do want to fix this problem because the particle is not even visible anymore. Oh wait, I forgot that storage is full. Yeah, but even if the storage wasn't full, you still don't see the particle. I think I know what the problem is. I don't know how I did this or why I did this, but the cookie is in the center of this whole thing. And I don't know what this whole thing is, but I know that the cookie is supposed to actually be up here. And then the anchor. Oh no. Okay, so maybe this. Does that work? It doesn't. I don't think it's supposed to be there. Let me see what the oven looks like. Yeah, the oven is like off to the side. I don't know what to do here. I feel like it should be here. What size is this? Okay, this is the size. I'm just gonna copy the size and put it in the root node as the minimum size and see if that does anything. It looks right. That looks like what it's exactly supposed to look like. Okay. All right. It doesn't exactly make the cookie come out of the center, but that's okay. Now I need to go back to the main, find the cookie shelf, and reduce the separation. Okay, that looks great. Now I want to make sure that when I resize, all the ovens are still above their cookies, or at least reasonably, which I think is doing a good job. It's doing a good job of keeping the cookies under the oven that they belong to. Now I can also cross this off. Just a quick update. The oven gets deactivated and I'm no longer able to click it. That was quite a bit that I just got done. And I'm going to brag again and say that I did it all by myself. So now that the oven is working, I need to work on the timer for the oven. I have the texture button right here. I have it separated into parts so that I could import it into the game easily. I've made the progress bar and it does work, but I don't know how to sync it to the bake timer. So I'm going to have to look that up. I'm not a big girl anymore. I have to go back to Google to hold my hand. And by Google, I mean ChatGPT. I did it. And it works consistently. I love that. For now, the oven is officially done. Having these little checklists as you go along helps so much because I'm less focused on completing the entire game and I'm just focused on getting one checklist done. And sometimes it's even on a smaller scale where I'm just focused on implementing one thing and I already feel accomplished. And I appreciate that that's the energy I'm going into this with because I've tried making games before and this was definitely not the level of patience I had. As a matter of fact, I stuck to making tiny games because I knew I didn't have the patience to wait months to finish a game. So I'm proud of myself. God has given me a spirit of patience and I appreciate it. See you guys next time.